May the goddess be with you down every road you roam. And may sunshine and happiness surround you in your new home. And as you test your wings, know that we are proud of you. And I want to thank Jen Keel for helping me write this. As you take this journey, know that we are standing true. Be courageous and be brave, and in our hearts you will remain forever loved, forever loved, forever loved. Seattle's lucky to have you and the magic that you bring. We'll be making a road trip when Deanna comes to sing. So don't you worry about things here, because your legacy is clear. We feel your love, forever loved, forever loved, forever loved, forever loved. So to our dynamic duo, we hope that we've served you well. Reverend Abby and Gina, we're gonna miss you, we know you can tell. Know that as we close this song, in our hearts you will belong. Forever loved, forever loved, forever loved, forever loved.
I'm so grateful that you all came today. I'm really, really honored. This is obviously a very special day for me, and it means a lot that you came. It just really means a lot to me. So thank you.
We love you.
Yeah. I got my family here. My mom is here, and my brother and his girlfriend Carrie came from New Mexico, and I got Cheryl and Kathy who came from Oregon, and so we got lots in the house. Or we have Oakland's in the house, Santa Rosa's in the house, right? Sacramento's in the house, yeah. So
in the house.
San Jose's in the house. Oh, Eureka. Yeah, there we go. Woo. So thank you all for coming. So today's talk is your spiritual chain reaction, how to create one. Well, I'm not going to talk about that at all. So instead, I'm going to take you on the magical mystery tour of our history. The magical mystery of our history. And a long time ago, way back in 2011, a baby minister was born. Her name was Abigail. And she was birthed out and taken in by her home in San Jose for Center for Spiritual Living, where they lovingly embraced her and lifted her up. And 3 months later, she went on this epic journey to Peru. In Peru, Abigail, had decided that she was going to have a trip of a lifetime, a life-changing journey, she declared. As she went on this trip, she decided it was going to be something that shifted her life into a new experience, bigger and better than she imagined. But lo and behold, it was bigger and better than she imagined. And of course, that's me, the little baby minister, 3 months old. As I went to Peru with the Seattle Center for Spiritual Living. And on that Peru journey, we practiced with many different shamans. You could see the shamans on the right-hand side and the shamans kind of in the middle. I hiked up to Machu Picchu and also to the top of Mount Machu Picchu, which was a very, very long and arduous hike. And you can see me on the very top of the mountain of Mount Machu Picchu. And while I was on that trip, while studying with one of the shamans, I had a vision. And in this vision, I saw this enormous snake. And I've told this story before, so some of you have heard it, but in the snake came up and it came over me, and it was a yellow snake, by the way. Yellow snake, 60 feet high with a 10-foot head. And it arched over me in my imaginings, and it said, "You are the one." And I kind of freaked out. What was I smoking? Exactly. And I said to the snake, "Isn't everybody the one?" And it said, "Why, yes." But sometimes people just need a big snake to tell you you're the one, you know. I was like, oh, okay, I'm the one. But just so you know, you're all the one. And part of that journey, I saw myself as being a senior minister of a center where there was love and light, and I saw this vision of me being a pillar of light. And as I spoke, each and every person who was in the room awakened to the pillar of light that they were. And it wasn't that I was giving them anything, they were awakening to the truth of who they were. And it was a very powerful vision. And I talked to Kathy Ann about the vision, and I told her about this vision of being a senior minister and this. Oh, and one thing that I didn't say that was in the vision is I said, if you are following me because you want to follow me, then you're in the wrong place. If you're following me because you want to know who you truly are and you want to awaken to the power and the presence of who you really are, then you're in the right place. So meanwhile, I told Kathy Ann of this vision, and she said, "You should start your own center." And I said, "What?" She said, "I'll give you $5,000 to start your own center." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And she said, "As a matter of fact, why don't you talk to David Bruner and see if San Jose will help you start a center?" So I thought, oh, well, what do I have to lose? So I went home and I talked to David, and he said, "Let me go talk to the Leadership Council." And he came back from the Leadership Council, and San Jose Center promised the newly birthing center $1,000 a month for a year. $12,000. Now, at that moment, I realized I was going to have to start a center. Uh-oh. And I gathered some people in my living room, in my mom's living room, actually, in her house, and we did some visioning. And we came together and we created our mission, vision, and our value statement. And we dreamed up the highest possibility for this dream idea that we had for a center. And I was going to a class one day, and David Bruner said to me, "Hey, everybody." Well, he didn't say to me. He said in a class of like 100 people on foundations, right? He said, "Oh, hey, everybody, Abigail's going to start a center." "When are you going to start your center, Abigail?" Meanwhile, this was in December, a month after I had come home. A month after, and I was like, August? I thought, oh, that should give me 9 months, so I can birth something in 9 months, right? And we did. So in August of 2012, we had our very first service. It was set at the Masonic Lodge in Menlo Park. We had 100 people in attendance. If you were in attendance on our very first service, could you please raise your hand? Wow. Yeah. It was on August 26th of 2012, and from then on, we had monthly services for the end of August. And we had a group of us that toured around all the neighborhood centers to see what everybody else was doing so we could get some ideas. And we collectively got ideas from all of those different centers to create something brand new that had never been done before. We rented our space here in January of 2013. Now, this space we wanted to have as our church service space or as our center service space. But unfortunately, our landlord had had a bad experience with another church. And so he said you could only rent it out as an office space. So we did. We rented out the Masonic Lodge on the Sundays, and we played church in a box. And then we rented out this space, which we played, workshops, education, office space, and fun for this space. Down this column was a wall over here. Over there was another wall. So this space was 3 rooms. It's 3 separate rooms. And this place was our sanctuary over here, and that back wall over there was where the podium was. The first minister on staff was Divine Young, who is here today. Thank you. And in January of 2014, I got ordained as a minister. Later that year, I quit my job at Stanford, which I'd been working at for 11 years. My full-time job, I quit it. Later that year, and a month later, I went to the Ministers' Ongoing Education Conference in July of 2014. And in that same time period, I recognized and found out that we had used up all of our savings, all of our seed funding. We'd also gotten a very large gift of $20,000 too from an anonymous donor to start up the center. So we had this very large chunk of money, but can you imagine? We were renting this space and we're renting the Masonic Lodge as well on a Sunday for 4 Sundays a month on top. So it was 2 rents that we were paying for almost a year. And I came to the building manager and I said, we can't do this. We can't pay for 2 locations. It's just, we don't have any money left. And by then he had fallen in love with us. And he said, oh, okay, I'll change the lease and I'll write in that you can have a Sunday service here. And so that's how we ended up having this space as our full-time location. And also, because of the Ministers' Ongoing Education Conference, I got inspired to birth the Next Gen Retreat. And the Next Gen Retreat is a retreat that's for emerging leaders for this entire organization who are 18 to 35-ish years old. It's a pretty powerful retreat, and we've had a great opportunity to have some of the world's emerging leaders come to this retreat and be transformed as a result of it. I have a couple pictures from our early CSLP years in 2013 and 2014. On the right-hand side is the time when we used to have some blue things over here, and I did one of those fire things, with the flash paper, which looked really cool. You can see, I don't think you could really see in that picture, Jen's look of horror and Lynn's look of horror. Basically, I burned a hole in one of the things because it went up so high. The fire went up so high. But we hung door hangers, and we did service projects, and we collected different, we collected games for people. We did cans in the soup kitchen. We did the Rebuilding Peninsula. We had all kinds of really fun events in 13 and 14, coats for the homeless. And in 2015, here we are. We have the Next Gen Retreat, the very first Next Gen Retreat up in the middle. And also in 2015, our first and only practitioner who came up through the center, Kathy Sharmer, graduated as a practitioner. We also hired Reverend Linda. Yeah. So I want to tell you a little story about some chairs. Now, I don't know about you, but I've kind of evolved in many things. For instance, whenever I go camping, my camping has turned from camping to glamping. Now, when I was first, I was a Girl Scout for 13 years, and so I used to just have the sleeping bag on the ground. And then it moved from a sleeping bag on the ground to a sleeping bag with like a little mat. And then it moved from that to, what I have now, which is an RV, which with a little, the little nice cushiony top memory foam topper on my bed. That's my camping now. Well, in the early days of Center for Spiritual Living Peninsula, we had 100 chairs donated to us, and they were these brown chairs, and what we call them is 20-minute chairs. Some of you remember the 20-minute chairs. Yes. And then we graduated to the gray chairs, which were 1-hour chairs. And our very first fundraiser, we purchased 25 of some of these blue chairs you'll see that you're sitting on right now. These are the 3-hour chairs. We had 25 of them. And so we bought those in 2013. And in 2016, we fundraised to purchase 25 more 3-hour chairs. But something happened with the order. And they accidentally gave us the wrong backs of the chairs. So some of the chairs, the backs don't match. They do from the front, but not, they do from the back, but not from the front. And so they were going to have us send back the 25 chairs, and then they just decided the shipping costs were too expensive. So they sent us 25 more chairs. It's called abundance. It's called abundance. And right now, Reverend Elizabeth is using those 25 chairs in her center right now. So they're borrowing us from that. We don't have enough space for 75 chairs in here. No, we don't.
It's like the lodge was very, very full.
So one of the great fundraisers we did was tearing down the wall. And so when we had this wall here, we realized that this half of the room wasn't big enough for us. So we expanded and we grew. And what we did is we wrote on the wall all the things that we wanted to let go of and release. We got big magic markers and we drew all over the walls. And then we fundraised enough money to get all this construction done to tear down all of the walls. And so that's what makes this great sanctuary in here today. This is us in 2016. So much good stuff going on. But what I really appreciate is last year we had our 5-year anniversary in 2017. Now, I was reading on Forbes.com, and Forbes.com says that 90% of startups fail. 90%. And 50% of them fail in the first 4 years, 80% fail in the first 5 years. As a matter of fact, they had a little fact of all these small businesses started in 2011, 4% made it to the second year, 3% made it to the third year, 9% made it to the fourth year, and 3% made it to the fifth year. So I want you to know that you are sitting in, that you are a part of something that is much greater than me and much greater than you. The fact that this center has been thriving for almost 6 years means that it is a God-ordained center. And what I really appreciate about this Forbes.com article is they had a thing on how does that 10% succeed? And this is what I thought was very interesting. They said the 10% that succeed, they are dependent on the team. And the team knows how to recover. Every startup is backed by a team of people, and the more versatile the team, the better chance they have at succeeding. Versatility is a sense of possessing more than one skill or talent. And versatility in a startup environment involves more than one person's skill set. It involves a mindset. These teams must possess the ability to change, adjust to different ways of being, take up new marketing, shift ways of doing things, rebranding, or tearing down a business and starting all over again. But it's all about recovering from blows. Teams that are able to recover together also possess the unique trait of harmoniously working together through tough times. As you know, our tagline is spiritual innovation happens here. So I want you to know that even though I will be leaving, this place is destined to succeed because of you. And I know who you all are. I know what you've contributed. And I know those of you who come here regularly on Sunday, that you are part of making it happen. And it's because of that exact genetic makeup of who you are that this place is continuing as a thriving center for spiritual living. And I can't tell you how happy that makes me. I'm so grateful. It is such an honor and a privilege to be part of something like this birthing. And I thought I would be here for a much longer time period. But I know that we're each other's legacy. You have given me so much more than you will ever know. So much more. And I have some big learnings that I've learned from here. One is that you can't do it alone. You cannot do it alone. You can't do life alone. You cannot do community alone. Imagine if I just showed up here and nobody was here. It's not a community without all of you. And I can't do life alone, and I can't do this alone. And you can't do it alone either. You need each other. And I need you. And whether or not, if we're here or if we're far away, we're always in this larger community together. It's a big, big community. It's the human community. And we're here to support and empower and uplift each other. Another key learning I had was tithing. So there was a point where we didn't know what we were going to do about our money because it wasn't coming in. Now, I've been really good at tithing. I'm a 10% tither. I don't tithe on net. I tithe on gross, right? What's the bigger number? I always get thinking gross. I tithe on gross. And we've been doing that at the center, and somehow the system somewhere had broken down, and we stopped tithing. And we were getting into some financial problems, and all of a sudden I looked and I said, oh, we haven't been tithing. And immediately I started tithing again. And immediately a large gift came in to help us out. So I want to let you know that that tithing thing works. It works. It works. It works. It works. I will never not tithe. And I want to encourage you as leadership, who's leadership in this community, to keep that tithing going, because that is the circulation that makes it happen. It works. I don't even know why, and I don't need to know why. But, I do know the law of circulation and all that, but but it's still magical and mysterious. And what I know is that the more we give out, the more we get. And the last thing that I learned from you is that spiritual innovation happens here, and I have to be willing to take risks. You have to be willing to take a risk, which means stepping out of your comfort zone, doing something different, trying something new, asking around, getting support, being courageous. And I know that taking risks really, really allows each and every person to open up to the fullness of their beingness, because it's allowed me to open up to the fullness of my beingness. Now, Kathy Ann is one of my favorite ministers of all time. And she has a huge reputation in this organization for being financially thriving, for having a deep, deep mystical consciousness, and for creating a widely thriving center. So when the opportunity to partner with her and potentially co-minister as her associate minister came up, I went ahead and took a risk. And I knew that it was either that or this. And it is that thing for me. It's a huge opportunity for me because she is an amazing mentor, person of consciousness, and it's a gigantic opportunity for me to work with somebody that I've admired my whole life. Well, my whole spiritual life. I didn't know her until, I got into this organization. So I want to thank you all for giving me that opportunity, for creating what I needed in order for me to have that be a yes. There's no way I could have done that without you. There's no way. So I just wanted to say thank you to all of you. And I want you to know that this place is left in really good hands. We started doing live stream this year. Joe's got us hooked up on doing Facebook Live. We've also, at the center, we've been able to bring some powerful musicians. Karen Drucker, Jamie Lula's been here. Gary Lynn Floyd, Laura Berman, Amy Steinberg, Michael Gott. They've all been here. Deanna. Deanna's like our music director. Like, how cool are we? And I definitely support Deanna. She's got CDs for sale, by the way. And she wrote that song Unfolding for me. And the other song, she sang it at my ordination. It's amazing. I love Deanna. I'm a huge fan. Huge fan. So if you haven't heard her work, you got to keep doing it. As a matter of fact, Deanna launched her first and second CD while at the center. And she got her music career because of Sister Spirit. She really got into her music career because of Sister Spirit. And the last thing that we've done here that I'm super proud of is this last year and this year we raised $27,000 for an endowment fund. Yes. And that was matched by the Science of Mind Foundation. So this center has a $52,000 endowment that will be paying back at the end of the year, back to the center, and for perpetuity. And it will continue to grow. And I know that the center is on a great foundation. So I wanted to have an opportunity so this is my gratitude to you. I want to do a little bit of gratitude to you, and then I want to have a short period of time if anybody else would like to say anything that they're grateful for about the center as well. So I am grateful for each and every one of you, first of all, for coming here today. I'm just taking a note of all of you. I just want to memorize who's here, who came for this very important day. Yeah. Oh, thank you. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for all the gifts that I will continue to carry in my heart and my soul. You've made me a better person. You've really made me a better person. So as many of you know or do not know, I have been working on this journey of conquering my fear of singing, which is very deep. I know. And the other center's like, what? What? Yes, I do have fear. And while speaking in front of 500 people is like super exciting to me, singing is terrifying. So I want to give you a gift, and I'd like to sing You Are the Face of God to you. Yeah, just sing with me. Lightly, yeah. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God, the love of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. Sure. You are the love of God. I hold you in my heart. You are my family. You are the love of God. You are the love of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are my family. You are the love of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. You are the face of God. I hold you in my heart. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. The face. You are a part of me. The face of God. You are a part of me. You are the face of God. Thank you, Deanna. So Ernest Holmes said, expectancy leads progress. Therefore, live in a continual state of expectancy. No matter how much good you are experiencing today, expect greater good tomorrow. Expect to meet new friends, expect to meet new and wonderful experiences. Try this magic of expectancy, and you will soon discover a dramatic side to your work which gives full vent to constructive feeling. That's Ernest Holmes. Let's pray. I'm so grateful for this Baptist-like feeling of this church. Hallelujah! Woo! Where's the fans? I know. Woo! All right, and as I recognize and know that there is an infinite experience and expression of the divine, that one divine that is always mine, is here to uplift and shift and gift and continue to be its most bliss in this life. And I recognize and know that that bliss is happening in you and in me. It's happening eternally. It's happening no matter what I do or how I see. I recognize and know, and I see and claim that bliss right here, right now. I know and claim that as the Center for Spiritual Living Peninsula births a minister into its next most highest divine expression, that it is also catapulted into its highest and most divine expression. I recognize and know that Reverend Christine Jeffers, the midwife of this birthing process, is divinely guided and blessed in everything that she does and everything that she is supported by the heavens, by the angels, by every single thing, and by this foundation of Pachamama, Mother Earth. I recognize and know that each and every person in this community is shifted and uplifted today as a result of what has happened, that there is a heart opening, a cracked wide open availability for a new sense of beingness. And this new sense of beingness allows each and every person in this room and each and every person who is watching online to see and feel and awaken to that divinity, to that powerful revelation, to the inspiration, to the elevation of the Infinite One. And so I recognize that the source resources every single person here, that there is an unlimited well of love and light, of power, of joy, of possibility. And so I claim that truth for each and every person in this room, that without a doubt, there is something that is shifted. It's like a landslide. You cannot help it from happening. It is going, and there is no stopping it now. And it is that landslide of love, that landslide of luminosity, that landslide of illumination that happens within each and every person in this nation, each and every person on this world, this human collaboration. And so as I see this, I feel and know that it is activated within me, and I am open to see and feel and know a new harmony that is possible, that this possibility is awakened and it is activated powerfully, presently, and alive in me. And alive in each and every person that I see, because I see that divinity within each and every one. And so I surrender that illusion, that mask of limitation, of thinking that we have to push and shove or make things happen. I recognize and know that God, that the Infinite One that birthed the heavens and earth, knows how to birth my highest idea of life. And it's happening now, and it's happening for each and every person here. So I welcome that birthing process. I welcome it. And I know and claim that even if the new baby is screaming and crying, it is a new baby, and it is a new experience. And with the laughs and the giggles and everything else that comes with it, it's all part of it. And so I recognize and know that that is a new experience. And so I claim forth this new experience through each and every one of us, and know that this day is the conception point, right here and right now. And it has been conceived, and I believe that without a doubt, something magical is happening here. And so as I conclude this magical mystery tour, I know that the magical mystery tour actually never ends, because the universe is always saying yes, and then, surprising each and every one of us with gifts that uplift no matter what, no matter where we go, no matter how we are, and no matter what we show up as. That this show is the show of life. And so I welcome the spectacular illumination, the luminosity that is happening in me, as me, and through each and every person here. So I surrender into that truth. I release this word, letting it go, resisting the temptation to say how I think that the infinite should be. And I surrender and allow it to shower itself over and in and through me right here and now. It is indeed good. It is bliss. And so I just surrender into it and fall into it easily, comfortably, and effortlessly, just like a leaf flowing down a river. I just get to relax and let it be. And so it is.
So it is.
Forever love, yes you are.